Are you a teachable trader? This is a very important idea here. This is an educational channel, and if you're wanting to learn how to trade, well then part of that is, well, let's make sure you are teachable. And I will say that I can say with confidence, 95% of you are gonna say, Clay, this was a very unnecessary video. And great, I'm glad to hear that. But there are gonna be 5% of people, give or take, and I'll show you the proof, where there are people like that out there that are just not teachable. And the problem with being not teachable is not necessarily because you're not, able to absorb information, but because you're just gonna force people to not wanna bother with you, to look at you and say, no, you're not worth the time, you're not teachable. And that's putting yourself in a very difficult position, assuming, of course, you do want to learn. So I wanna walk you through somebody, and at the core, just do the opposite of this, right? If you do the opposite of what you're gonna see, then you have by default turned yourself into a teachable person. So I wanna build some context, and then I think you'll see the punchline without me needing to explain much, but I'll go through it nonetheless. So this person says, it will come back up, you'll see. Now it is being referred to a stock, and you see, okay, the stock will come back up, you'll see. So that's the point, but you don't wanna, as a teacher where I am, you don't wanna just jump to conclusions. You wanna seek clarity, you wanna gain more information, and that's what you'll see next. I hold because it works for me. Now in the spirit of being fair to this person, they are holding because it works for them. They're holding because, well, it will go back up, and they tell people, you'll see. So that's the current premise. So I ask, so your strategy is hold and hope. Now I'm not special in this regard, like any good coach, teacher, whatever you wanna call me. A good coach is going to need to gain clarity. They're going to need to ask some questions so that they don't start to answer questions in ways that don't actually pertain to you because, well, that's not what you actually meant. So yeah, gaining clarity as a coach is what a good coach is going to do. Chris replies back, yup. So at this point, the person has admitted to, yeah, I am doing a hold and hope strategy. Now, in all actuality, and I was being kind, and to be fair, maybe the hold and hope strategy does work, but if you have any amount of experience, and in fact, if the hold and hope strategy does work, please let me know in the comment section. But you can see here that, okay, we officially have somebody that's doing a hold and hope strategy. So I reply back, well, hey, if you've been trading for an extended period of time and have hundreds of trades that show what you were doing is profitable, then great. And let me be very clear, I 100% mean that. If you are somebody that has hundreds of trades of a hold and hope strategy and you can show that it works, then I'm happy for you. That's fantastic. That is very, very good. But this is where the teaching starts to come into play. Just because you have a trade or a few that have worked with a certain strategy, whether it's a hold and hope or any other strategy, from a statistical point of view, that's a very small sample size. You need a bigger sample size to know if something works or not. So that's why I mentioned hundreds of trades, because I'm trying to teach this person, hey, do you have a lot of data points? And if you do, fantastic. I then say, I've never come across someone where the hold and hope long-term has generated trading gains. However, I suppose there's a first for everything. Now, I would like to think that I'm trying to be humble here, because just because I've never seen it doesn't mean that it doesn't not exist, doesn't mean that it's not possible, right? It'd be arrogant for me to say, well, I've never seen it, therefore it doesn't exist, right? That's kind of a very like the world revolves around me type attitude. And I don't think that's a good attitude for anybody, but I'm trying to keep myself open. I've never seen it, but to be fair, there is a first for everything. Maybe you are somebody where the hold and hope strategy works. So I'm trying to be humble, I'm trying to be genuine, and I'm trying to admit, hey, maybe you have it figured out. So Chris says, I like how I post a comment, and the more info I give you, Clay, the more critical you become. Now, I'm not quite sure what's being pointed out here, what the problem is, but yes, I mean, the more information anybody gains about anything, the more critiques they can offer by default, because, well, they have more information. So yes, the more information you give me, I'm asking, like I said earlier on in the video, so I can gain clarity, so the teacher can gain clarity so that they can better help you. Dare I say, they can better critique you. You're a trader, and I thought you were trying to teach the community. Now, I'm sure you're already seeing maybe your blood vessels kind of popping out, but yes, I am a trader. Yes, I'm trying to help the community. And that's what I'm trying to do with you right now, my friend. Chris, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to not jump to assumptions. That's why I asked you to make sure that I understood right that your strategy is hold and hope. You said, yes, it is. I tried to tell you, okay, well, I never come across anybody, but maybe you haven't figured out. I mean, do you have hundreds of trades? As I'm trying to figure out, hey, maybe you don't have it figured out, because if you only have 5 trades, then you probably don't have it figured out. But if you have hundreds, then hey, good for you. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do right now, Chris. I'm trying to teach you. But it just seems like you like to belittle and berate us. So I don't think I really need to say anything more. A very big bait and switch. Hey, this is the case. Hey, you're telling me something that I guess I don't want to hear. Therefore, you're belittling me. Therefore, you're berating me. I mean, and I'll even go with that presumption. Let's say I'm not going to say belittle because I certainly never did that. But let's say I am berating this person. If you've ever played any sort of competitive sport, played sports all the way up through, varsity sports in high school, and yes, coaches did berate us. If I messed up, if I did something wrong, if I did not follow instructions, you know the routine. Maybe you played an instrument. If you march out of formation or you're playing the wrong note, I'm assuming your coach would berate you because that's their job as a coach. They are not there to say, hey, you're messing up. It was supposed to be that note, or if, a marching formation, you're supposed to be over here, but yet you're over here, or in, any sort of sport, you were supposed to do that. But, go ahead. Just do whatever you want. I mean, that's a really terrible coach. Like a coach that cares about you is going to point out things that are wrong or need to be corrected. And that's just being very unteachable. If you're going to give information, hear feedback, and sure, if the feedback is not what you want to hear, then for you to default to stop berating me, stop belittling me. You see the problem with that. Once more, I started the video on with that 95% of you're saying, Clay, this was such a wasted time because I know that. That's not me, that person, that I would never do that. And fantastic. I'm very, very happy to say that. But if I am talking to one of you that are 5%, and please be honest with yourself, if you're one of the 5%, just let me coach you. Let me berate you a little bit here. You're not teachable. You're going to make yourself a very unattractive person that anybody's going to want to work with, that anybody's going to want to try to coach. I'll be the first to admit, Chris, I don't want to work with him. I don't like when people pull the bait and switch. Like now I'm the bad guy all of a sudden. I'm belittling people, right? Like that's a very not attractive person to want to dedicate any of your time to. So don't make yourself like that. And if you're one of the 5% and maybe you're thinking you're on Chris's team, please reconsider, and I'm going to submit to you for you to consider seriously. You are not a very teachable person. But for the other 95%, if you're still watching this, good job, keep it up. You're on the right pathway, not only for trading, but for just life in general. If you ask for feedback, then take the feedback. And if it's not what you want to hear, hey, take it. That's where you can learn. That's where you can start to improve, whatever you're actually trying to do. So that's all I have for you. So hopefully you're watching this and you are a teachable trader, but if you're not teachable, well, you know what? Change your attitude, look at the world through a little different lens and become teachable. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.